Hey guys, my name is Bria. Today I'm going to be talking about drug addiction and the effect on children. Okay, so in my opinion, I do not believe that there is enough consequences for the parents, and there's not enough attention on the children that have to suffer through this. So, first, I'd like to apologize. The best I can do with a presentation is on my laptop, and you can't really see it that well, so I'll bring it up when a slide comes on. But um, over 30 million Americans suffer from drug or alcohol addiction. Children with parents who are addicts usually go through some forms of harm way. So, this includes things like child abuse, and that can be done in several forms. There's obviously the physical, mental, and emotional. These are things that I'm more concerned about. I mean, physical is obviously really horrible, but the thing that I don't think people pay attention to is like the mental damage that it does on a child to be in a household where parents do things like that. It's kind of just brushed aside and it's not important to a lot of people, and I think it should be. So, child abuse defined clearly is a slide that I've pulled up right here. I'll bring it closer. Let's see. So, child abuse can be violence, and that could be verbal abuse, forcing a child to hide the parent's addiction. That's a big one. I'm sure there's a lot of parents that tell their children at home, I'm doing this, but don't go to school and tell your teachers, this will get you in trouble or it'll get our family in trouble. And that's a lot. I mean, a child having to hide such a secret from adults and being told that they can't tell anybody, like that's just, I just think people need to pay more attention to things like that. I was not raised in a household like this, but as I got older, attending church and things like that, we had people that would care for children and their parents would be addicts, but they would care for the child or whatever, and they were always just so sad. Like, you could tell that there was just like a void inside of them, and people don't pay attention to that. And as a child, I think they should. That's really important. People often just look at the addict themselves and they don't look at the people around them that it's affecting. And if you have children, that's the main person that you should be doing good for. So it's sad to me to see that not be such a big deal to some people. Some of my personal experiences seeing this firsthand would be families in my community. And that's just seeing kids see other kids that have good home lives, and on the outside you can just tell they're lonely and sad, and they don't have that. They might not have a parent that cares what they did at school that day, and that's neglect, lacking to give your child that attention and choosing to put your attention elsewhere. That's neglecting your child, and I think more stuff should be done about things like that. um, these children potentially grow up to be like the parent. If nobody steps in to help out, then that's usually what happens. A lot of the times, if there is help from DSS or something like that, there's a good chance that I knew a family, and two kids had got taken from a home and they were put in foster care. You would think it would be safer, but it wasn't. Bad things happened to the children when they were in that home, and they weren't cared for well. They weren't loved. They didn't get the attention that they should have, like they should have, from those services. So here's some things that we can do to help. I'll bring this a little closer. Let's see. So we have, you can support your local family and support centers. These are places where the children go to get care. And it's nice if you have people, for like myself, for example, this is something that I'm super passionate about. And if you have people that actually care and are there to help, I feel like the child is more likely to have a better outcome than just being around somebody that's just there for a paycheck or whatever. Something else that we can do to help out is to demand more drug classes, drug education in schools. I think this would be good. This would help kids know the consequences that they have to look forward to if they choose that lifestyle. Like I said, oftentimes if you're in that lifestyle, it's likely you're gonna grow up and be like that, naturally. Another thing that I think would be so important is paying attention. Sometimes we overlook kids and we don't think about what their home life is like. We don't think to ask them questions and stuff like that. And I think that's super important. I think it's so important to pay attention to a child's actions, stuff they come to school saying, just anything. Thank you. I don't want this to come across like I am being negative towards people who are addicts, because I'm not. I've loved several of them, family members. I've seen it, and I just think the situation itself is completely sad, and I just think something needs to be done. Help for the kids. Help for the parent, of course, who's suffering from the addiction, and often that's just where we stop. We don't look any further, but I think we need to look further into it and see who it's affecting, and in this case, if you have kids are being affected, and that's when I think this becomes a really big issue. So this is just my opinion, and these are just a few things that I think that we could do to help out. Thanks for watching.